My goodness me, look at that, folks. Look at that. Now, I think that's a first. It's the first time I've reacted to a track. Hello, and welcome back to my channel. My name's Claire. I'm a flute player from Hull, East Yorkshire in the UK, and I'm here with another reaction. Now, if you are new to my channel, then thank you. Thank you so much for checking this out, and I would love it if you explored some of the other content on my channel. So I've got lots more reactions from all sorts of bands and artists, and I also cover lots of music on my flute, so do check out those as well. If you'd like to hear me play live, you can come along every Sunday and request from my growing list of covers. So if you're interested in that, check out the rest of the channel. But back to today's reaction. So today's reaction has been sent in by Alan Watson. So thank you so much, Alan, for taking the time to click the link below this video and send me a suggestion. Alan says this is a classic jazz / rock track. So that got my attention straight away. Now this track is from a collaboration album between Dan Fogelberg and Tim Weisberg, and the album was entitled Twin Sons of Different Mothers. So let's give you some Flutifull facts on this one, folks. Twin Sons of Different Mothers is a collaboration album by American singer-songwriter Dan Fogelberg and jazz flutist Tim Weisberg. It was released in 1978, and it was the first of two collaborations between the pair. The second was no resemblance whatsoever. The album peaked at number 8 on the Billboard 200 and at number 7 on the Cashbox Top 100 albums, and it did go on to become a double platinum seller. Now, some information on our artists here. So Dan Fogelberg was a songwriter, singer, multi-instrumentalist, and it says on Wikipedia, widely known for his 1970s and 80s soft rock hits. Now, Tim, the flute player in question here, was also a vocalist and record producer, as well as being a flute player. His early days were spent performing in concert venues across the US, but it was at the 1970 Monterey Jazz Festival which he became firmly established as a unique voice. Now, on his website, he does describe his style as being between jazz and rock, and in 1971 he released his debut album, Tim Weisberg. Now, if you're interested in this album indeed, or Tim's work, do check out his website, because it's pretty interesting, and in particular there's a wonderful article entitled The Power of Collaborative Gold, written by Ira Kantar. Now, it's very interesting, talks a lot about how the album was put together and how it came to be, and I love this quote contained in that article from Dan himself. So Dan said, "This album constitutes a collaboration experimental in nature between Tim and myself. It is an attempt for both of us to move outside our recognizable boundaries and try new directions. New forms of music which we rarely get to explore on our own. It is a chance to stretch, an opportunity to grow, and a hell of a lot of fun." So I thought that was a wonderful quote, and anybody who knows my channel and my own music knows that I pretty much adhere to that philosophy too nowadays. So that has severely whetted my appetite. I hope it has yours. So let's have a listen and find out if it's Flutifull. Here we go.
Shines and badgers and blinds and constantly need protecting. Balance the cost of the soul you lost with the dreams you lightly sold. cost of the soul you lost with the dreams you lightly sold. Tell me that you're free of the power of there's something about the song that disturbs you. Minus a bird, but there's something about the song that disturbs you. The women alone, the wine is super perfect. Something about the song.
Yes, and the crowd go wild, and quite rightly so. Oh, my goodness me, look at that, folks. Look at that. Now, I think that's a first. It's the first time I've reacted to a track with twin flutes. Oh my God. Right, so much to talk about here, and I hope I'm not going to forget any of it. So, at the beginning there, I could see he was ready to play, and I spotted the second flute player in the back there, and I thought, ooh, this is interesting. And straight away, I could see did you see how they were coordinating with each other at the beginning there, just to check they were ready and just to check they were ready to go. And then that riff comes in, and it's twin flutes. Now, those of you who follow me regularly will be smiling, I'm sure, because whenever I make my own covers and I put lots of layers in, because the flute is just amazing when you layer it, right? So in my cover tracks, you'll find lots of flute layers. I often use the vocal harmonies from songs and do it on the flute and add even more if I can, because stacking them is just so cool. And here we have an example. I don't think I've come across that yet, played live like this. Anyway, there are plenty of tracks where I've heard double flutes, but not played live. So good, so coordinated, so wonderful. And then the second guy on the flute pulls out that sax at the end, and oh, what a sound. Anyway, back to the flute. So during most of the song, we've got this really cool rock groove, some nice chords in there, some nice shifts that you're not really expecting, but it's a pretty standard kind of song. A great groove, great use of rhythm over the top. Love it. Love the vocal as well. The other thing I want to say before I forget is the mix in this is so good. So often when you have a flute in a rock band, the sound isn't always great, and it is difficult. The flute player, like we have here, is using a radio mic, and it's sometimes hard to get that sound really good. But what a great flute sound, and what a great mix. Even towards the end, where the flute's still playing with the saxophone, you can still hear it. Sounds great. Really fantastic sound on this. Anyway, back to the playing. So throughout the whole main track, obviously the flute's doing that wonderful riff, but it's great. Love the little runs he's putting in. Can completely tell he's a jazz player, like he's come from jazz primarily, the way he's playing those runs, and also his improv, the nature of it with all the chromaticism and stuff. Very jazz-like, very clean sound, very, very nice. Now then, we got that drop out in the track, and I thought, oh, this is cool. And by that point, of course, I was really dying for a flute solo, really, really dying for it. And we got that kind of twin flute solo almost to start off with, which again, kudos to them. Not easy to do that, especially, I mean, they're at quite a distance there, aren't they? So the guy at the back's having to really watch what's going on from the front there. I know they've got monitors and all the rest of it, but yeah, they're still having to watch. So really nice. And then not only do we get a flute solo or improv of sorts, but playing against Dan Fogelberg there, that was so cool. That was actually a lot cooler and a lot more dialogue-like than a lot of people might realise. That was really, really interesting. Again, I can super tell that he's a jazz player, but what he's doing completely fits with the track, and he's playing around with the rhythms there and the sound. Yes, it's a clean sound all the way through. This is not Ian Anderson, although there was one trill in the solo that he did, which is the same trill as the opening of Cross-Eyed Mary, which kind of made me smile. But you definitely wouldn't mistake this sound for Ian Anderson. But very nice, gorgeous floaty sound, dreamy sound in that dropped solo bit in the middle. And just must briefly mention the delay. Ooh, now another thing I love doing is playing around with the old effects and delay and stuff. And that was gorgeous, very, very dreamy, very, very nicely done in there. And at the, just throughout part of the solo, not the whole thing. And that worked brilliantly, I thought. So gorgeous, gorgeous. What a great sound from everybody. What great music, and hats off. And to any flute players out there, or anybody that is yet to be convinced that the flute in rock works and that the flute isn't just a classical instrument, then what more do you need, folks? That's amazing. And I almost wish, I mean, when I have to confess, when I was younger, I never knew this music existed. I was trained classically, brought up classically, and I love classical music, but educating myself on all this stuff is just fantastic. And I hope if you are a young musician of any instrumental type that you explore all these genres, explore the boundaries as these wonderful musicians have, because it's just so inspiring and so energizing. So hats off, certainly Flutifull, love it. And thank you again to Alan for suggesting for me to react to this. So I hope you enjoyed that. Let me know your thoughts down below. Do you know this music? Have you heard it before? Is this something new from you? I would love to know what you think. So let me know down below. And if you have any suggestions for me to react to, check out the link in the pinned comments. So I hope to see you soon, folks. Perhaps at a Flutifull Time live stream. Check out the details on my channel page. And until I see you again, take care and stay Flutifull. Thanks for watching. Bye.